Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the news cycle on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital in Abuja. I am Chidimma Jarasin. Thanks for joining us. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the reappointment of Dr. Bayero Farah as Director General and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology (NITT) Zaria for a second term of 4 years. This is contained in a statement by the spokesperson of the Institute, John Kolawole, and made available to newsmen in Zaria on Friday. According to him, the reappointment is in accordance with the provisions of the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology Act 1986 laws of the Federation of Nigeria. He stated that Farah possessed a track record of sterling and exceptional performance, which led to the massive and unprecedented transformation of NITT to its unrivaled status since inception in 1986. The Federal Ministries of Works and Defense and the Nigerian Army are collaborating on a comprehensive approach to tackle the insecurity challenges confronting parts of the country through road infrastructure enhancement and expansion, it emerged on Friday. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, said the collaboration is part of the strategic and holistic security roadmap of the federal government. Umahi stated this in a statement by his spokesman, Uchenna Orji, following his closed-door meeting with the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, in office. According to Umahi, the focus of the collaboration is on strengthening collaborations towards improving the nation's internal security through revolutionizing road infrastructure development. The Sokoto State Committee for the Review of Wasteful and Unnecessary Government Assets has stated that appointees of the immediate past Governor Aminu Tambuwal went away with no fewer than 745 government vehicles. The committee said it was able to recover only 32 of the vehicles, adding that 40 of them had been taken to Niger Republic. The committee's chairman, Alhaji Jelani Kalgo, while presenting the report of its findings to Governor Ahmed Aliyu, said the committee also discovered a government property sold for 60 million naira, but only 30 million naira was remitted. In the meantime, Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule on Friday stated that he has no ambition of becoming a lawmaker either in the Senate or the House of Representatives after the end of his 8-year governorship tenure. Sule ran his first tenure as the state's governor from 2019 to 2023 on the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress. However, Sule, who sought to run for another 4-year tenure in the 2023 governorship election, was met with a challenge from the opposition, the People's Democratic Party, and its governorship candidate, David Ombugado. Moving on, the police command in Nasarawa State says it has arrested 38 protesters in Lafia for alleged public disturbance over the recent Supreme Court judgment, which upheld the election of Governor Abdullahi Sule of the state. The suspects were immediately charged to court and remanded at the Lafia Custodial Center. They were charged before the Chief Magistrate's Court 3, Lafia, for the offense. When the matter was mentioned for hearing by the prosecuting counsel, Danjuma Alu, the Chief Magistrate, Mohammed Lance, reserved the ruling on their bail application to Monday. The protesters comprised 5 males and 33 females. Ahead of negotiations for the payment of a new minimum wage scheduled to commence in April 2024, the organized labor has submitted a list of its representatives who will represent Nigerian workers on the negotiation panel, which is set to be constituted by the federal government. For a new minimum wage to be implemented, a tripartite committee is often set up by the federal government to ensure smooth negotiations. For the committee set up by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019, the tripartite committee was headed by the then head of civil service of the Federation, Ama Pepple. The committee also had as some of its members representatives of the organized labor, comprising the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, alongside officials of government and the private sector. In a bid to promote student engagement, empower student leadership, and foster a conducive learning environment that nurtures future leaders and contributes to national development, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Student Engagement, Sunday Ashafon, has unveiled Nigerian students' flag and the Renewed Hope student agenda. He says it is aimed at serving as a bridge for students' engagement in governance, policy formation and implementation to foster students' leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation and prioritizing the needs and rights of students. Global TV's Queen Agaba has details. Away from that, in the face of the rising kidnapping and bandits ravaging some parts of the country, the National Association of Nigerian Students has called for the declaration of a state of emergency on the security situation in the country. The clerk of the Students' Senate body, Oladimeji Uthman, disclosed this in a statement on Friday. Uthman stated that the National Association of Nigerian Students is gravely concerned about the escalating security crisis in Nigeria, particularly the surge in kidnapping and banditry that has disproportionately affected the northern region and other zones of the country. He added that declaring a state of emergency would help the government to address the security situation critically. He also suggested that the federal government should work on collaboration between the stakeholders for intelligence gathering. The Federal Road Safety Corps Kogi State Sector Command has said that there was a 14% reduction in the death toll from road crashes in the state in 2023. The FRSC, however, said that it recorded 58 auto crashes in which 28 persons died during the 2023 Yuletide. The sector commander Samuel Oyedeji disclosed this on Friday in Lokoja, the state capital. Oyedeji said that the casualty figure was a 14% decrease compared to the 2022/2023 period, adding that there was, however, an increase in RTCs from 50 to 58. He explained that the considerable reduction in the number of persons killed in the road traffic crashes was due to a series of measures put in place by the command during the Operation Zero Tolerance of the Corps. You're watching the news cycle live from Nigeria's capital in Abuja. Don't forget we're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the news cycle returns, Nigeria's poverty reduced by 7%. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Stay with us. If you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle. Thank you for staying with us. And now on the foreign scene, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, is to be sworn in for a second 5-year term on Saturday after sweeping elections, which the opposition has branded a sham, calling for protest. With tensions simmering in the vast nation's volatile eastern provinces, the 60-year-old president has picked Kinshasa's 80,000 capacity Matai Sports Stadium for the ceremony. 18 other heads of state will attend, according to the authorities. His first swearing-in in January 2019, after controversially defeating Joseph Kabila, took place in the gardens of the Palace of Nations, a solemn venue that has traditionally staged important official events. The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, has disclosed that about 20,000 babies have been burned into conditions beyond belief in Gaza since the war with Israel started more than 3 months ago. This was made known by the UNICEF spokeswoman Tess Ingram when she came back from a recent visit to the Gaza Strip. She stated that mothers were bleeding to death, adding that one nurse had performed emergency cesarean sections on 6 dead women. Speaking via video link from Oman, Ingram stated that nearly 2,000 babies have been burned into the war that began after the Hamas attacks inside Israel on October 7th, according to UNICEF. That's a baby born into the horrendous war every 10 minutes, further adding that becoming a mother should be a time for celebration. In Gaza, it's another child delivered into hell, she said, emphasizing a need for urgent international action. In the meantime, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he has told the United States that he opposes the establishment of a Palestinian state once the conflict in Gaza comes to an end. In a news conference, defiant Netanyahu vowed to press on with the offensive in Gaza until complete victory. The destruction of Hamas and return of the remaining Israel hostages, adding that it could take many more months. Speaking to reporters following Netanyahu's latest comment, U.S. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby recognized that the U.S. and Israel obviously see things differently. Still on foreign news, North Korea says it has carried out a test of its underwater nuclear weapons system in response to drills by the U.S., South Korea and Japan this week. On Friday, North Korea said it had been provoked by joint drills by Washington, Seoul and Tokyo to carry out a test of its underwater weapons. It accused the exercises of further destabilizing the regional situation and threatening the North's security. The U.S., South Korea and Japan say they have conducted more exercises in the past year as a deterrence response to the increasing frequency of North Korea's military actions, which include multiple tests of its nuclear ballistic missiles and launches of new weapons. All such actions are in breach of UN sanctions, but Pyongyang leader Kim Jong has repeatedly said his regime is building up its military arsenal in preparation for war that could break out at any time on the peninsula. And now, as we move over to business sector, the federal government has said that the Nigerian maritime industry would play a pivotal role in achieving $1 trillion economic growth by 2027. The executive secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Pius Akuta, disclosed this during a courtesy visit at the Tinkan Island Container Terminal Limited in Lagos. President Bola Tinubu had disclosed that the government was working to push Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy in 3 years, precisely in 2027. However, speaking during the tour, Akuta said the president and his New Hope agenda for this country is looking at moving from $500 billion economy to $1 trillion economy by the end of 4 years. The NSC boss added that the government is looking at a private sector collaboration in rebuilding the sector. In the meantime, the Naira closes flat against the dollar on Friday at the parallel and official markets. It closed trading at 902.45 Naira per dollar on the official investor and exporter window of the foreign exchange market and at 1,350 Naira per dollar in the parallel market. On Friday, the Naira remained a little above 902 Naira against the dollar, closing at 902.45 Naira per dollar. A little above the $902.08 it closed on Thursday, according to data from the FMDQ Securities Exchange. It opened trading on Friday at $909.90, traded at a high of 1,280 Naira per dollar and a low of 467 Naira per dollar before closing at $902.45. Total forex turnover in the official window fell by 17.36% to $145.89 million. The World Bank has estimated that improved access to internet coverage over 3 years led to a 7% reduction in extreme poverty in Nigeria and Tanzania. This was disclosed in a new brief titled Digital Transformation Drives Development in Africa. noting that the exposure has also led to an increase of 8% in labor force participation and wage employment. The World Bank has stated that in 2023, a World Bank flagship report found that in Nigeria and Tanzania, extreme poverty declined by about 7% after 3 or more years of exposure to internet coverage, while labor force participation and wage employment increased by up to 8%. The federal government's Territory Administration has earmarked 1.7 billion naira in the 2024 budget for the establishment of a pilot smart secondary school in the FCT. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike disclosed in Abuja at an event organized to celebrate the accomplishments of public school students in FCT in academics and sport. Wike, who was represented by the Mandate Secretary Education Secretariat FCTA Dr. Danlami Hayo, said that the move was to align with global trends in digital teaching and learning. He explained that the smart school, which would be located in Kashi, a community under the Abuja Municipal Area Council, would be equipped with birding and digital facilities for e-teaching and learning. He further added that the 1.7 billion naira was part of the 13.1 billion naira approved for the renovation, rehabilitation and construction of new schools in the FCT in 2024. Away from that, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, says the volume of Nigeria's non-oil export in 2023 stood at 6.685 million metric tons of exportable products. The Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, CEO of NEPC, Nonye Anyeni, made this known at the presentation of the non-oil export performance for the year 2023 in Abuja. She says the continued increase in volume of the nation's non-oil exports reaffirms the widely held assertion that the sector held the key to the revitalization of the country's economy. Kikaloma Okere has this report.
The Executive Director and the Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, says an increase in the volume and value of exportable goods and services and the repatriation of export proceeds will enhance foreign exchange inflow into the country, as well as stabilize the value of Naira. The NEPC boss, however, acknowledged a decline in monetary terms of Nigerians' exports from 4.8 billion naira in 2022 to 4.5 billion naira in 2023. Ayeni listed the factors responsible for the decline to include political instability in many exportable countries, rejection of some Nigerian products, and exchange rate, among others. She therefore expressed the Council's commitment to tackle most of these challenges to ensure growth of the sector in shortest possible time.
Commodities in terms of total exported products were urea, fertilizer, which accounted for 20.10%, while cocoa beans came second at 13.19%. Sesame seed took the top position at 9.03%. There are quite a number of other exportable products that contributed significantly to huge volume of our export in 2023.
Considering the major challenges facing exporters is the issue of export reject, NEPC boss says the council is collaborating with relevant authorities to create awareness, build capacity in the area of good agricultural practice, labeling and packaging, and ensuring adherence to quality and standard of export in the global market. She said on the products exported, the NEPC boss says 273 different products were reported to have been exported in the period under review, ranging from manufactured, semi-processed, solid mineral to agricultural commodities. She says this figure reflected a notable increase of approximately 28.04% compared to the preceding year.
However, notably Brazil, China and Japan emerged as the top 3 importing countries respectively for non-oil export products exported from Nigeria. 13 member countries of ECOWAS, excluding Cape Verde, actively engaged in the importation of Nigerian products throughout the year 2023. 1,694,000 metric tons, amounting to $343.9 million US dollars, accounted for 7.6% of the total export value. Interestingly, only Ghana made it to the top 20 global importers from Nigeria, occupying the 18th position on the export log.
She further rules out that Nigerian non-oil penetrates markets across 124 countries in America, Asia, Europe, among others. 13 member countries of ECOWAS actively imported Nigerian products, with 1,145 exporting companies actively exporting Nigerian products in the year 2023. According to NEPC boss, this figure can be improved with adequate funding, capacity building, and mentorship.
However, I wish to use this medium to implore financial institutions to take advantage of the opportunities in the non-oil export sector by supporting exporters to enhance their capacity to scale up production and access international markets, especially now that we have the African Continental Free Trade Zone, AfTA, which is the single largest economic bloc in the continent. This support is critical in increasing the basket of exportable non-oil exports, stimulating value addition, and thereby increasing our foreign exchange earnings.
She further reiterated the commitment of the Council to redouble its efforts towards repositioning the sector for sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kikelomo Okere, for that report. And now in sports, Real Sociedad striker Umar Sadiq has opened up on his exclusion from the Super Eagles days before the start of the African Cup of Nations. Sadiq was replaced by Paul Onauchu after the Eagles team doctor claimed he suffered a meniscus injury in the team's 2-0 loss to Guinea in a pre-tournament friendly in Abu Dhabi. The 28-year-old left the Eagles camp for Sociedad last Saturday, and on Monday the Spanish club posted a video of the Nigerian striker undergoing recovery training. He afterwards featured for the side in a cup game in Spain, which drew the eye of fans on social media and beyond. According to Sadiq, his club discovered that he only suffered a bruise and could thus resume training. Still in sports, Ivory Coast are hoping to have striker Sebastien Haller back from injury for their last Africa Cup of Nations group game next week, after the coach Jean-Louis Gazette admitted that they were outmuscled against Nigeria. The host nation lost 1-0 in their second Group A game and are under pressure to get a result when they conclude the opening phase of the tournament against Equatorial Guinea on Monday. The Ivorians are third in the group standings with 3 points, one behind both Equatorial Guinea and Nigeria, and will be looking for a win to make sure of their progress for the last 16. And this is where we rounded up on the news cycle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital. Don't forget, we are on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Chidimma Jewison, thanking you for watching. I'll see you again.